pretty good match so far. Next match is going to be another TVZ, so we'll see if he can keep it up.
That's right. You know, he's looking incredibly strong. You've got to be wondering what StarCraft Ascension is thinking at the moment, how they're going to handle this player. The next player that they are sending out is Seeing Red. Seeing Red is apparently the strongest active Zerg player on StarCraft Ascension, according to them. And he boasts a diverse set of playstyles, so it's possible that we'll see something that's a little bit non-standard in this game.
It looks like he is a master player, Drunken Boy a grandmaster. So this game is going to be another good one. But the thing that's going to be exciting is it's another TVZ. So we can see if Drunken Boy's style stays the same, you know, knowing that Seeing Red kind of has maybe different or varied styles. See how Drunken Boy deals with it.
Absolutely.
So I'm just bringing up our scoreboard here, setting our scores as it is now 3-1 in favor of YMCMB. So
That's right.
YMCMB coming closer to getting close to the ace match, as it does take 5 games to win. This is a best-of-9 series, King of the Hill format. So as two players come out, the players continue playing until they lose. Drunken Boy now coming out, winning 3 in a row for his team, so taking his team to a commanding lead after falling down initially. But StarCraft Ascension not out of it yet, as we've got this game in front of us.
That's right.
Real quick, before we get going here, I want to post this thread, or this link in chat again. It is linked to the Reddit thread for this cast. We want to ask you if you're enjoying yourself this evening. We thank you for joining us. If you click that, upvote it so the rest of the community can see this. We've got some epic games in front of us, so we want to get the word out there as much as possible. Also, follow at SC2CTL to get updates on future casts. Follow at WingnetSC, at Galligation to stay in touch with us, and we are here Tuesdays and Thursdays. Typically, next week can be a little different, but we'll tell you about that later, from 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Until whenever it ends, which
Until
is usually
whenever it ends.
usually between 10:30 and 11:15 Eastern Daylight Time. But, you know, we're committed. We're going to see it to the end.
Absolutely.
Who needs sleep? Sleep's overrated.
Absolutely overrated on a weeknight.
Yes.
This is...
That.
Our jobs don't matter. All right, we're going to jump
StarCraft.
right into this game. Game number 5. And in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to have our super-duper champion from the last 3 games in a row for Team YMCMB. It is Drunken Boy. It's obviously not drunk tonight.
Definitely not. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have from Team StarCraft Ascension trying to pull his team back into this match. It is Seeing Red.
And will he be seeing red? We will have to see, as he's going against a very strong opponent with a lot of nice head of steam going here against his for his team. So we'll see what comes out of the sleeves. But we do want to encourage everyone as you're watching, do chat with us in chat. We're trying to keep an eye on that, and let us know if you like something, if you don't like something, as we do enjoy that feedback.
That's right.
Awesome.
Also, you feel free to tweet it at us. We do sometimes have a hard time, especially with these games, Drunken Boy playing all over the place, keeping an eye on the chat while trying to keep an eye on all the action that's going on. So it does help us out if you can tweet it at us. That way we get to see it tomorrow when we have slept off our StarCraft 2 hangover and are ready to work on increasing the production of the cast.
And we do have our score up here at the top. So as you can see, it's 3-1 in favor of YMCMB. And if you weren't with us initially, StarCraft Ascension did come out and take the first win, so YMCMB coming back. YMCMB standing for Young Money, Cash Money Billionaires. Saying that again so that I can remember it.
It is a bit of a tongue twister.
Young Money, Cash Money Billionaires does not have a Twitter from the team manager that I was talking to, but SCA does. It is .DOTSCA. So do follow them. They are quite active on Twitter. A lot of good stuff there. So we're going to have a gas going down before pool here for Seeing Red as his expansion goes down as well. So quick ling speed going to be coming down for him to see if he can thwart Drunken Boy. I'm sure we'll see some of that Hellion play coming out, as that's been pretty common.
Real quickly, while there's a little bit of a lull, I do want to give a great shout out to our moderators in chat tonight. Holy spam, Batman. There, and that is actually said by one of the mods. So Thank you so much for getting that ban hammer out and doing the necessaries. We do appreciate it.
It's a rough job. Looks like SCV going to be coming in to scout that the pool is going to be popping. Drones mining gas, he's going to know that speed's coming, sees the expansion as well, so he's got a good read on his opponent. Now what he does with it is up to him. He's got his expansion coming down at his natural, so he's not building it in base, knowing that he's not under a huge threat at the moment, not seeing any Zerglings out on the field, but 4 are in production.
That Reaper is moving in now, and those Lings can have a real hard time dealing with these Reapers, as they only really have a speed advantage on creep, and with micro, those Reapers can do some big damage. Drunken Boy getting a little bit excited with that Reaper. And great micro from Seeing Red, pulling the damaged Lings back, moving the healthy Lings forward to chase that Reaper out. He's going to be forced to hang out and do some healing.
Yeah, this natural is now established for Seeing Red. There's a lot of spectator chat. These games are casted from replay, so unfortunately we can't do anything about all the chat going on, but do just try and look through it as the natural of Seeing Red is established here. He's got some drones mining on it, putting on the creep tumor to connect them and continue the creep moving out forward. Nice spotting going down by the overlords as they're on the edges here to see if any drops coming out. Sees the natural expansion as well, I think. Let's see. No, he does not see it, so I'm assuming he'll be moving that overlord in at some point to see that his opponent is expanding there, putting up his wall, so he's going to be safe here for a while at least.
And not that there's a lot of threat coming out. There's not a lot of Zerglings being produced. Just focusing on those drones, focusing on getting that economy up.
Oh, nice deny of the base here, at least for a few seconds by that Reaper. Delayed it about 5 seconds or so by moving in. That drone had to pull back, but speed did finish at the same moment, so push the Reaper back. But the Reaper jumps the cliff, hops up in here. Looks like he's going to get 1 drone kill, and he may just
That's going to be the end of him, though.
Yeah, and decides to sacrifice that, knowing that its duty was done. Now with Ling speed, Seeing Red is going to move out on the map a bit here to see what he can do as he's got his 3 bases going down. Looks like more gas going down for Drunken Boy. I still haven't seen exactly what he's going to go into yet. Looks like he's got some siege tanks going out here and factory producing double Hellions, so it's going to be a little bit of mech play with a few Marines here. I haven't seen a starport go down yet, so going to be delayed on the drops, but Seeing Red does have overlords in great positions on either side of his base, so he's going to see if any medevacs were to be heading out anyway.
Those Lings not able to get a whole lot of vision. They did encounter a tank at the top of the ramp, so they were forced to just get right on out of there, take heavy losses. But both players are just playing fairly macro and tech heavy at the moment. We do see Stim coming down, and Drunken Boy just gathering up his forces, making his defense, making just calculated play, knowing that he's safe for now and waiting for the opportune moment to strike.
And it looks like Lair now going down for Seeing Red as well as Baneling Nest, so probably looks like we're going to see similar play to last game. I don't know the exact timing from last game, but it seems like that Lair is going down a bit later. This is an 8-minute Lair, so it's a pretty decently timed Lair.
Seeing Red did send in an Overlord to try and scout the tech, was able to see a single starport going down on a reactor and a factory going landing, building another reactor, 2 barracks, building a reactor or 2 reactors as well. So he got a great scope out of what Drunken Boy is doing. The question is, can he do anything with that information?
4 Hellions moving down here to the third base of Seeing Red. He's going to move in and get a ton of drone kills. Seeing Red way out of position. Few Lings come in, but aren't going to be able to deal with these Hellions yet. Almost all the drones at that third base are going to be taken out, but Lings now poking away at the Hellions. Nice spread on those Hellions too to stop this around, but 3 of them get out, kill a lot of drones. It's going to be 16 drones for Drunken Boy. Nice play there.
And he's got to be feeling really good about having accomplished so much with so little. He basically only lost 100 resources and did so much damage.
Yeah, we saw a similar play from him last game too, using those Hellions to try and keep the creep back, but then using them as a distractionary tactic against his opponent once he decided to push out. But now seeing a big opening there to take those out, but the Lings are going to come around and clean those up. Those Hellions do a ton of damage to those Lings, but isn't able to get the last shot off to kill them, so those Lings are going to heal up there pretty fast. But looks like Drunken Boy is getting a little anxious here to make a move. Got a couple mines and a large group of Marines coming out with those medevacs, spreading the Marines out to see what's going to be coming across the map here. He does have the tanks still defending that front wall, so that's going to be hard to be broken by any Zerglings. He's going to camp out at this tower here for just a moment as he moves out.
Banelings are now in production. Just a handful of units, 10 more Lings coming out. And this push is going to be able to do some decent damage, I think. Unless great Baneling connections are made, there's just not a lot here to defend.
Yeah,
But
Seeing Red's going to pop out with those Lings and see what's coming. He does have 6 Banelings. His Baneling speed is about to finish in just a few seconds. So if
he really needs that to finish.
Does a nice, just keeping them back there for a few seconds, popping the mines off, so those Banelings are going to have to worry about those, but they are going to have to worry about the Stim and Micro. The Overseer there in to deal with the mines. Mines are cleaned up, so now he's just left with a few Banelings and a few Zerglings, so Drunken Boy going to have to hold off this push here for a little bit.
Great decision to lift up by Drunken Boy there to get those Marines out. That many Banelings would definitely ruin their day.
Yeah, the way he lifted up, though, it made Seeing Red get the feeling that he was going to be dropping in the back as he moves those Banelings back to the back. But no, he's going to be coming back in the natural scanning, taking out a Creep Tumor. But there are Zerglings trying to surround the Banelings come in, but he gets a nice lift, only loses a couple Marines. Great micro play.
Dropping a single one and does get that Baneling kill. That does hurt, but loses a few Marines to the units that are there.
We've seen this from Drunken Boy game and game again. You know, in TVP, the attrition play is in the favor of Terran. If Terran continues to just take smart losses and do damage here and there to the Zerg, he can over time come back and just get in a huge
great connection with those Banelings and surrounding with the Lings. 3 Marines do get lifted up, but most of those Marines do die.
Yeah, this is a heavy micro play by Drunken Boy. We've seen his micro be amazing, but it takes even more micro to try and defend it because you got to have your army split up in so many places, and putting that pressure on really allows you to do a lot of things at home. And Seeing Red probably would love to be taking a 4th and even 5th base now, as he's got 1,600 in the bank.
We do have a Spire in production now, and it looks like he is going to be saving that money for dem mutas. But he is going to have to make some Overlords if he's going to want to pop those out.
He's got a nice gas bank here. Ton of Banelings in plays here too, so if he can make some good connections with those, he can help himself quite a bit. As looks like someone of the spectators is pinging this fire there, but the Lings are coming in
for the wraparound and big connections. But another great liftoff. Drunken Boy just really on it, really baiting out the Lings and the Banelings, trying to get as many kills off before the last minute. But that supply depot doesn't get up, and the Banelings and the Lings are able to move right in there. Big hit on those SCVs, but they don't have the melee upgrades to be able to kill them in one hit. So he's not going to be able to do the damage that he would like to here. And all that does get cleaned up.
There are those Zerglings at the 3rd base of Drunken Boy, though, as they do get a few more worker kills. Looks like we're sitting at...
those Overseers are just walking in and getting picked off right away. That is going to supply block the Seeing Red.
Yeah, we're at a pretty even amount of workers killed on each side, though, as Seeing Red is taking his 3rd base. I'm sure he wanted to do this a while ago, but he was under such pressure. But, you know, he's been on even bases with his Terran opponent now for quite a while, and as you know, Zerg always wants to be 1 base up, so he's now going to be moving out and doing expanding as he's done a lot of damage here. 4th command center coming down from Drunken Boy as well, but the Ling's going to... no cancel there, so that's going to be 400 minerals you never see again. Mines coming in out of position.
Marines are moving into the front there, and there's a decent number of Lings and Banelings, but those Marines are... Look at that split, though. They're just splitting up like crazy, baiting these Banelings out. Oh, huge mine kills. Oh, my goodness. That's got to feel good to be Drunken Boy right there. And those Banelings are not trading effectively. Seeing Red is in kind of a painful position here. Those Banelings continue to move out. Great hits on those Marines all around. That split was good, but oh my goodness. The little clumps that were there did get wrecked. And the Marines load up and walk away as the Mutalisks coming in to save the day. The cavalry has arrived.
Yeah, that pick up and drop micro can only last so long. Once the mutas come into play, they're definitely going to start doing the damage to the medevac. So he does pull back. He did lose quite a bit. I mean, if we look at the army supply here, Drunken Boy, as we've seen in past games, is quite a bit in supply. But now these mutas are going to be on the field, so we'll have to see what they can do. I don't think Drunken Boy is really prepared for this. He doesn't have any turrets set up. He doesn't really have his army positioned well. So
what he does have is a lot of Marines and a lot of mines, though. So if those Mutalisks get out of position just a little bit, they will all be toast.
He does have melee attack level 2 coming down, as well as range attack air attack level 1. So these mutas are going to be a problem for Seeing Drunken Boy for quite a while here. He is trying to split up his Marines here to position them, using the medevac to spot for him. The mines moving in. Oh, if Seeing Red moves in here, those mines are going to do a ton of damage to these.
Seeing Red is moving Banelings in, just going straight for that orbital command, but there was enough Marines there to deal with it. Really just trying to chase those SCVs around. The Mutalisks are back in the main, doing damage where they can. They do snipe off an engineering bay. moving into the third now, and without turrets here, they really can do whatever they want without being perturbed, and with making things run everywhere.
Someone in chat
Bunker does
asking
burn
for
down.
upgrades. We've got 2-2 ground attack and armor for Terran, +1 attack for the Mutas, +2 armor, and +2 attack for the Zerg, as well as Baneling speed. So a lot of upgrades on the field. There is a slight advantage for Seeing Red at the moment as Adrenal Gland's coming down as well. So those Zerglings are going to become quite the fierce thing to deal with too, as these Mutas are continuing to poke here against these few Marines, trying to set up some turrets here as well. But this SCV building the turret is going to be taken down. Marines are going to come in to try and shoo the Mutas away, and they do successfully, but the Mutas could easily sweep into the main where there's not a lot. Oh, there is a nice group of Marines here that just did get dropped out of those
Drunken
medevacs.
Boy moving into the front, though. Banelings go off on the mines, but the Marines are left behind. More Lings and Banelings moving forward. Not super great connections there, and almost all the Banelings. Great splits by Drunken Boy, and he continues to move in, but Zerglings are everywhere. And another lift off, and he's getting out.
And once that engagement is complete, his attention is focused back to these Mutas as they move around here to see what they can see. There are a handful of Marines on one side and a large group of Marines and a couple mines on the other side. So these Mutas would only have a chance moving into the main here, but even then, these Marines with 2 medevacs and stim could be a problem, and now 3 medevacs, but they're going to group up here, move in, and a lot of reinforcements coming. These Mutas are going to be in big trouble, especially as mine connection, huge mine connection, takes away half the HP of most of those Mutas, so they're going to be trapped here. He's not going to be able to get those out. All the upgrades coming down for Seeing Red, plus attack, plus armor for the Ultralisk, chitinous plating, +2 air attack, +3 armor, yeah, and lots of Zerglings in production, as well as a 5th base. So going into a huge late game play here for Seeing Red, getting all the upgrades for the big money units as we get into the late game.
Seeing Red's got to be feeling good about all those units being pinned back by those Mutas, as well as he's getting the Ultralisk upgrades, he's getting Vipers, and that's going to be so good against this army.
Drunken Boy now moving out here to see the 4th base with those medevacs of Seeing Red. He's going to be moving in. The Lings are going to come back to try and defend it, but the mines...
Banelings are there.
Going to just try and bait him back into the mines. He's going to get 2 big connection, kill everything. But these small group of Marines, the Lings coming back in, aren't going to be able to do much. He's likely going to lift up here and pull back, as that's too many Lings. Oh, but the Vipers there could pull the medevac back, but nothing to do much damage to it. He does smartly move only the medevac away very quickly that had the units in it, leaving the rest behind as bait for that Viper. Oh, some Marines caught off guard here as some Lings and Banelings come in. Oh, but the Marines able to kill all the Banelings, so just a handful of Marines doing a little bit of damage to the 3rd base of Drunken Boy. Both players in a nice position here, both maxed out at 200, both with good upgrades, both with nice compositions, so this is going to be a long game here.
Banelings are morphing in the center of the map, and those Marine balls are moving forward to snipe as many as they can. A little bit of baiting. Banelings moving in, but not getting any good connections.
Zerglings
like
moving in to try and get us around here. Those Marines does get a nice connection with a couple Banelings, kills a few, but so many Marines, so much stim. Nice connection with Banelings. Nice fungal there too. Oh, huge fungal, nice Baneling connection, but Terran army is going to be able to clean this up as an Ultralisk comes in. That stim and medevacs do so much damage with those just small group of Marines.
Yeah, that was not a great engagement. Oh no, Seeing Red has an Ultralisk just walking across the map. Bad rally, and it's going to get taken out. That can't feel good.
Now both players going to take a bit of a pause here, except for the Mutas now that are back in action for Seeing Red. Pulls all the SCVs away from this command center. He's going to try and get it down. The SCVs come back to repair it. He's going to be able to save it with that. Takes only minimal damage on those SCVs. Nice hold off by Drunken Boy being aware of those Mutas, but he is going to see the 4th base going down here, which is turning into a planetary fortress. Not able to do much. Able to snipe 1 medevac with those Mutas. Now going to pull back to the 3rd base. Kill off a very few weakened SCVs here, but pulling Drunken Boy every which direction with these Mutas. Drunken Boy was, after that big engagement, was focused on the middle there. Now had his army that was holding these Mutas back out of position.
And Seeing Red is being incredibly active with these Mutalisks. He's trying to buy as much time as he can so he can get his army back up. He has spent down his bank. He's back up to 200. He's got to be feeling good about the time that he was able to buy there. But Drunken Boy is moving back down into the position of the 4th base. Oh, huge Funker could be here. Oh, but the Infestors get picked off, and the Banelings are just not connecting effectively.
If he could even just get a fungal on those medevacs, he could kill half of them.
And more Banelings come in to connect. He's trying to keep those Infestors alive, as they are expensive. They do take a while to gain that energy.
Looks like Drunken Boy is going to push in there and then pull right back. Couple banelings in production. Muta's going to come in, see if... I thought maybe they would try and get a couple of those weakened medevacs, but no, they're going to go for a push on the 4th base here. Not going to get too far,
just
though.
Rallying his units here. He really wants to do something with this.
Yeah, he just doesn't have enough here. Oh, money fungal on those Marines as the Ultralisk moves in, cleans those up. A couple mines that are going to burrow.
There's a great fungal on those mines to keep them a little bit farther behind, to try and get those infestors out of there before they're able to burrow. Let's see if another one goes down. Yeah, sure does.
Nice.
And it actually gets a kill on one of those.
Yeah, those Marines are all balled up there, so a fungal or two could mean the difference. But if a small group of Marines run up and try and snipe the infestors, able to get a couple baneling connections, kill those. But Drunken Boy moving in with a huge army of heavily upgraded Marines here with a lot of medevacs. Ultralisk moving, nice fungals. Ultralisk tearing apart those fungal Marines. Nice splits from Drunken Boy as the banelings continue to roll and fungals continue to go. Ultralisk just eating through those Marines, but the Ultralisk now push back as more banelings come in. Can he get a good connection here to clean this up?
Just trying to he really wants to kill Drunken Boy's army here. He really wants to hurt it, but he's losing a lot in the process. Great fungals going down. Those Ultralisks are just going to be able to chomp away. Gotta be feeling good about that. More Lings and Mutas coming in to resupply. Another Ultralisk, and Drunken Boy gets out of there.
This game is remaining very even. One Drunken Boy makes a nice push and does a decent amount of damage, gets cleaned up, and then is distracted, and Seeing Red does the same thing, and then they just continue rinse and repeat. Both players expanding well. Seeing Red on 5 bases now as he moves in with a few Marines here that get caught off guard and are cleaned up by these Marines. He's able to clean up the one Marine on the tower, but the rest of the army cleans it up. Now both players taking a breather here for a second, as it seems.
As you need to as well. What I've been really impressed so far with Drunken Boy is he's always got a small group of units towards the front that he is baiting the banelings with. And they come up and they do connect with that small group, but that's exactly what Drunken Boy wants, as the rest of his army is in a perfect concave to kill the remainder of the banelings, making them very inefficient trades. But oh my goodness, Shane Fungals on the medevacs. So many medevacs are going to die here.
That's a lot of medevacs. That's going to be huge for Drunken Boy, because those medevacs were the thing that was keeping him in all those fights, as more fungals go down on the Marines that keep them there for the Ultras to do damage to. But a small group left as Zerglings come in to try and clean it up with a couple banelings. Drunken Boy's going to have to end up lifting up and pulling back. Was not able to get that base down like he wanted, but before that engagement, right when we went to look at it, we saw both gases being canceled by Seeing Red. Probably because he's got a huge gas bank and just needs the minerals. I'm not sure why he would put those gases down and then cancel them at this point.
Yeah, that's probably likely what he saw. He was also probably worried that he may just end up losing them with that push going on.
I mean, Seeing Red has a huge bank of gas, but is just hurting on the minerals. And if we look at the units, he's got 61 drones, so that's definitely less than the number you'd want. I mean, you want to be up in the 75 number, but Drunken Boy only has 44 SCVs.
And if you look at the units lost heads, Seeing Red is about 10,000 resources behind. And then he's just, I mean, with the Swarm style of Zerg, you have to just accept that as a given, that you're going to take incredible losses, but you want to expand much more than your opponent is able to. And
Seeing Red now splitting up some of his Zerglings here to do some nice poking damage, sending one group into the center base and sending another group in as soon as those pull out to the original third base of Drunken Boy, killing a few SCVs. Those tank shots actually doing more damage to the SCVs than the Zerglings are, I think.
Absolutely. Drunken Boy again moving out a big group of Marine, Marauder, and Mine. He did get the alligator clip, the drilling claw upgrade. So those mines are going to drop a little bit faster, probably faster than most of those.
One mine shot goes off on that Overlord, a wasted shot. But he's going to move in here with a pretty big army, but he doesn't have many medevacs, so these huge number of infestors roll in with banelings and fungals go down, lock the Marines down for the banelings, but he runs out of banelings. He runs out of banelings. One more fungal on that back group of Marines, but he does end up getting that base down. That was original goal. Now more Zerglings, banelings roll in to help deal with that group, but the fungals keep him locked down. Nice play by Seeing Red.
And he fungaled that medevac that had all the units in it. Those units are all going to drop, but he does unload, forcing Seeing Red to use a little bit more energy than he would have liked.
Another drop here going down by Drunken Boy at the 5th base of Seeing Red, but that's able to easily be cleaned up by Seeing Red as one baneling comes in and kills the last 3 Marines. But it looks like I'm now full medevac boosting back into the main of Seeing Red. This could be bad news bears if he can get up here and snipe a couple of these tech buildings. That Spire, that Ultra Den could easily go down. Yeah,
Seeing Red has no idea that's even there. He's going to be able to do some big damage before Seeing Red's even able to get units up there to do
now
anything.
once
Both
he
players
unloads,
just
he does
doing
see those.
incredible damage with these runarounds and this harass play.
It's so cool to see this infestor play. We just don't see that much anymore, but it's really doing good things against Drunken Boy right now. But seeing those two ultras do just pop there and are able to fend that off, if he would have, he must have been distracted, because that could have done a lot of damage.
And those infestors just knowing exactly what's going on, dropping huge infested Terrans, fungling the medevac, those aren't getting out of there.
This has been just a super entertaining game by both of these players. Now we seem to be at a bit of a stalemate point where both players are pushing each other. Drunken Boy trying to split up to do damage to Seeing Red, but just not getting it done right now. I mean, as we saw before, Drunken Boy is still only in the mid-40s of SCVs, and Seeing Red has 56, so not what you would want, but Seeing Red definitely in the uphand position as far as economy goes. But as we saw earlier in the game, I mean, the 78 workers killed by Seeing Red. So that is the story of why Drunken Boy hasn't been able to seal this up so far. 78 drones.
Yeah, that is a huge...
or I'm sorry, 78 SCVs.
SCVs, yeah. And the base restriction is definitely the name of the game. They're both trying to get in there and limit the other's economy and build up the units that they need to seal the deal, but neither player is really able to nail that final nail in the coffin. They've both kind of had positions of power at various points in this game, and both are just really at this point trying to nail something down.
If we look at army supply, both players are identically even.
Oh, these infestors are going to get this marine drop that was trying to go down. Huge fungals. That is all going to get cleaned up, but Drunken Boy is moving into the whatever base that is, the 30 o'clock
the right
base. Two Ultralisks are there doing big damage, but they will
nice
ultimately
fungal on
get
those
cleaned
mines.
up. And chain fungling them, those are all going to fall. Another great fungal, just incredible fungal control by Seeing Red. Oh my goodness, mine hits on those infestors, so many drop.
That Ultralist being out there to bait those mine shots, as now he's left with only infestors, but Drunken Boy does only have a small bio army left. More Ultralists coming in. The fungal likely gonna not really lock down the Marines, but gets on a few of the mines. Mines
Oh no!
are nice.
Oh no! Those mines are cooled down, and those infestors are just out of range. The Drunken Boy is doing a great job now of splitting his mines up like you would Marines if you were to try and keep them out of those fungal growths or banelings or anything like that. He knows that that's what's really hurting him, and he's able to take care of it.
Drunken Boy with a small group of Marines and a couple Marauders here going to go try and put some pressure on, but there's a nice group of infestors and a single Ultralist. That one fungal could clean up that entire thing, but he's walking his infestors right past it. Oh, he's just distracted. Ends up losing that Ultralist.
Simultaneous attacks on both sides of the map. Ultralists move in to try and deal with some Marines and Marauders, but just taking heavy damage. And there's so many mines here. There's 5 mines just on the outside of this 3 o'clock base. The infestor just sitting on top of it.
Yeah, these Ultralisks sitting right on top of them as well. Like you said, it is a nice spread. So initially, earlier in the game, he was having those mines so bunched. Oh, the infestors are right in the mine range. It's going to be...
Oh, jeez! And so many infestors are getting cleaned up there. And Drunken Boy takes that as a cue to move in, as so many resources were just lost. They're trying to get some last feudal fungals off by those infestors. That was a huge loss for Seeing Red. This might cost him this base.
Yeah, especially since those infestors got on the wrong side of those Ultralisks, were able to be taken out. Zerglings come in a couple minutes too late here. Now is a second Bioforce coming in just as these mines are cooling down again, so they're going to be a huge hit on these Zerglings if they come up here. But it looks like they're going to stay back. He's very smart about this, trying to stay back. Oh, all those Zerglings. Oh, nice. Nice play with the mines there. Not too many losses, but the Ultralisks are going to stand there to try and tank some of those mine shots as...
But Drunken Boy moving in again. He's moving in at the 6 o'clock base now. He's just everywhere. Loading up into these medevacs, going just any which way he wants. The mines are dealing huge damage to the army. He is really taking a commanding lead here.
Army supply is still fairly even. 110 for Drunken Boy, 93 for Seeing Red. So we haven't seen any huge army take up now, as Drunken Boy does have his base in the upper right-hand corner. But Zergling's coming in to clean up this drop, but Drunken Boy with a nice large army here, but Seeing Red now sees this base here, sends in Zerglings, cleans up a lot of the SCVs there, but the army's going to come in and clean those up as well, and he's going to happily continue mining.
Yeah, seeing red, feeling like he's in a position where he's gonna switch the momentum. He's gonna start going on the offensive instead of just playing defense while he goes back and tries to recuperate a little bit. But these Marines just won't let him. He does have Overseers there to deal with some of those mines, but they keep getting picked off.
Yeah, Overseer's speed upgrade would be pretty handy, wouldn't it?
Oh, huge fungal.
That's about as amazing fungal as you can get right there, capturing the entire
gosh.
army, even a couple of the medevacs. Zergling's easily
God.
able to, well, not easily able to clean that up, but oh, his infestor count went way down there. Now he's got only 2 left with not enough energy and barely alive Marines as the medevac's unable to clean him up. It's going to lose this base.
He just doesn't have the units there to be able to deal with it. And I bet he thought he had enough, but there's just so many medevacs, and look at how low the energy is on those medevacs. They have been working overtime.
Yeah, those infestors got slightly out of position there, so he was not able to get that last fungal he needed to clean up the rest of that army. But he was preparing a push out on the left-hand side here. That's why he didn't have a lot of his army, but last minute was able to pull them back, but it was a little bit too late, as he's now trying to move out again up to this right-hand side base of Drunken Boy, but the mines kill most of the Marines coming in. Now nothing there as Drunken Boy pulls his SCVs back. Another small group of bio coming down the left-hand side, but there are units there to deal with it. But it looks like Seeing Red doesn't see it, as his focus is likely on this upper right-hand base here. They're going to move in and try and focus down this hatch here. They can do a lot of damage if he doesn't get noticed. There's so many units here that are able to handle this. He needs to pull back quickly, but it looks like he's going to get down to be able to get this round. And oh, he stops. Get in there. Killing so many drones. These drones are so important right now. The economy is weakened for both players. He's got all his lings and banelings just sitting there.
And again, Drunken Boy is just everywhere. He's just got small numbers of units in every position, hitting like 3 or 4 different spots at the same time. And you know, Seeing Red is trying to get in there and do a similar thing while trying to defend, and he just doesn't have the attention to be everywhere at once.
Army supply now starting to increase as we've got both players over 100, 141 to 114 in favor of Drunken Boy. Looks like he's starting to get ahead as he's taking out the economy and bases of Seeing Red. The slow but sure bleeding of Seeing Red, as he's... The real issue is he's so strapped on gas. Zerglings alone are not going to beat this army.
They're really not, but he doesn't have the bases in order to get the gas. Drunken Boy's just been doing such a great job of denying the bases, making him move his drones around, killing drones, so that he has to continue to make drones instead of other things. You know, it's just, he's really got him on the ropes, it seems.
Yeah, it's just been a slow bleeding. I mean, Seeing Red does have a lot of bases, but quickly if we look at them, he does have some gas here. He's only mining 1 in each, but both out in the natural, both out in the main. Third base is out, so he is just so gas-strapped in that small group that got into this X number base over here on the left side. I mean, he's not even mining gas out of those right now, but Drunken Boy's moving in right now.
Moved his entire army in, while Seeing Red has spread his army out, trying to defend against the typical play that we've been seeing the rest of this game, and Drunken Boy taking advantage of that expectation, massing his army, moving out, and Seeing Red is just not rallying his units. He's got units everywhere, but he's not pulling them in to try and deal with this.
It really seems like the attrition is coming to fruition on Seeing Red, as Drunken Boy, still with his amazing control, is becoming the difference in this game, as Seeing Red not controlling quite as good as Drunken Boy is with these small armies that they're able to muster on these low economy bases here. But
these infestors just trying to keep him in the game. He keeps getting great fungals, but there's not units to sweep in and deal with the immobilized units. These Zerglings just walking into their certain doom. And in such low numbers, they just get cleaned up before doing much damage at all.
Yeah, I mean, the bad thing for Seeing Red is the rally lines of Zerglings just keep coming right at his army, and he's able to kill them almost just in a stream, just as they get to his units. He really needs to rally them up to a central location and then move in.
And the units lost tab continuing to widen the gap between Drunken Boy and Seeing Red.
Now 60k for Seeing Red to 47k for Drunken Boy. This has been, we're now approaching the 45-minute point in this game.
Drunken Boy has this really neat line of burrowed mines in his resupply line, and one of the main attack lines for Zerg. It's like creep tumors for each player going up the opposite sides of the map here.
Yeah, as Seeing Red now, Seeing Red just seems so, I mean, obviously Drunken Boy is pulling him all over the map, but Seeing Red seems so distracted right now because many times he's had groups of units in useful positions and has just left them there not doing anything right away. But now he's moving up a group of Zerglings, running them into a huge bio army, not going to be able to do anything, loses about half of his Zerglings. It just seems like the slow picking apart of Seeing Red's army. I mean, he keeps moving in small groups and just slowly losing little bits without doing a whole lot of damage. I mean, he's able to take out this base up here, but that's honestly not that big of a deal right now. Drunken Boy being really aggressive with his expanding, even expanding on Seeing Red's side of the map now. Feels like he's got a lot of good control.
Well, these mines are really kind of trying to drive a wedge in the middle of the map. He's right in the middle of where Seeing Red needs...
Oh, we could have a huge... Oh my gosh, so many Zerglings go down on that one mine connection. Huge connection for Drunken Boy.
Hodor looking like he needs some attention again.
Seeing Red just putting up a few
big
Zerglings
infestors
there.
Moving up.
Oh my gosh, huge fungals on almost the entire army. Drunken Boy does split it up as he senses...
But he lost so many infestors to that, trying to do that, and there's just nothing there to clean up these immobilized units. Once again, 3 Banelings get made, but only 1 or 2 connects, and 2 Marauders do survive with very little HP.
Yeah, so many mines on the right side. Seeing Red isn't even able to get his units in to be able to do anything to this army, as he's still poking with Zerglings, which is great, but Drunken Boy now setting up a huge defensive position on his side of the map, which is right in the middle of his supply line. So you see these 2 bases on the right side. When he does make units, they can't even join up with the army on the left side. So he's driving a wedge in Seeing Red's army, which is just going to end up killing him over time.
And Drunken Boy has just an amazing, amazing splitting of these forces. Even if Fungals do land, even if Banelings come in, they're not going to get huge swaths of units. They're going to kill maybe 1 little battalion of units, and then the rest are going to be able to come in and clean up the rest of it.
The Zerglings are moving up the right side of the map to try and put a little bit of pressure on Drunken Boy, that it's just not going to work out so well. He just lifts this base to not lose it, but he's moving in a few Zerglings here. There's going to be a lot of mules mining, so he's probably going to lose most of those, but lifts up the base. So, I mean, he's not able to kill bases of Drunken Boy right now. He's able to stop some mining, but honestly, at this point, Seeing Red is broke.
And he has no way to increase his income either. I mean, all his bases that remain are mined out. Yeah. And he can't, he's trying to expand in places that keep getting denied as well. There's just nothing that he can do here.
This is going to be the money location for Drunken Boy, and you can tell by the way he's defending it. This is the cash cow right now for him. This is the base that's going to win him the game, if he can hold it, as his base here with the Planetary Fortress is drying up. So, I mean, these Zerglings are going to pop in, but not do anything with the Planetary Fortress. They're not going to be mining anything from here, likely, and it is almost mined out. There's still a lot here, but, I mean, it's just so far spread out, he's just going to end up pulling it back, most likely. So, he's just got a huge defensive position here that's just going to be incredible for him if he can just maintain it.
And Seeing Red just doesn't have the units to be able to deal with this at this point. I mean, he's mainly got Zerglings, and that's because that's what he can afford. He's got a few infestors trying to keep his eye on those so he doesn't lose them. Fungal goes down to take out a medevac, but you got to wonder if that was the most effective use of it.
Yeah, Seeing Red being bled out here as we cross the 50-minute point in this game. This has just been an incredible war of attrition between these 2 players in this clan war. It's just fun to see games like this. I mean, so even throughout the game so much, and then Drunken Boy has just clawed himself up to just slowly regain a little bit of a lead, slowly put himself in a good position, and now he's sitting in a real good position. Now there's a mine in this base. Seeing Red would love to take this base as the huge defensive position of Drunken Boy's on the other side of the map, but no, that mine is going to prevent that. Even doing a bit of remote mining here as a Fungal comes down on that small medevac group there. But now
and
the
Drunken Boy's just doing a really great job of doing, again, small little pokes with these medevacs, with these Marines, with these Marauders, and he's playing so incredibly patiently, and there's the GG right there. I mean, the patience from Drunken Boy in that, not overcommitting, trying to just slowly move in, slowly deny bases, and expand behind it. And what is Seeing Red to do there? He was just being bled out, losing so many infestors to just mines. And that is just huge losses for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to exit that game, thanks.
Sorry about that.
If a lot of times, I think if he would have just been able to just gather some of his forces a little better, he kept rallying into the attacking army, so just he would lose stream upon stream upon stream of units without even really being able to do anything.
That's right. So Seeing Red does go out of that match